He lost limbs and almost his life to meningococcal disease, but Melbourne man Mike Rolls has turned it into a positive. Not only has he become a champion golfer, but he's now helping young amputees adjust to the challenge. Joe Hall met him.
Mike Rolls was an excited 18-year-old when he headed to Tasmania for an end-of-season footy trip. The last thing he remembers is being dropped at the airport.
And the next memory I had was waking up at the Alfred Hospital 5.5 weeks later after contracting meningococcal disease.
He'd lost his right leg below the knee, half his left foot and 3 fingers. He had septicemia, organ failure and bleeding on the brain.
It was pretty dire and the expectations weren't great.
At one stage, his parents were told Mike had an hour to live.
I guess from that point on it was just a fight for my life.
And fight he did.
I remember waking up and thinking, you know, even though as tragic and as horrible as the situation was, I just wasn't done living.
Recovery was overcoming a series of hurdles, culminating in mastering the use of a prosthetic leg.
I'd never met an amputee before, and now I was one. As I adjusted and came to the realisation that my life was going to be different, but not necessarily bad, I was able to do some pretty great things in the years following.
But something was holding Mike back.
It took about 8 years to make a really tough decision. I actually elected to amputate my last remaining leg, my left leg. It was just this dead weight that I was carrying around with me. It was detracting from my happiness. I wasn't able to enjoy life like I wanted to.
Within a month, he was pain-free and walking. His appetite had increased and he could exercise for longer. He decided to pursue his passion for golf, now playing on a handicap of 5.
I've been able to get back to a better level of golf than when I had feet.
His ambition to play in the World Disabled Golf Championships, but it's not Mike's only sport.
Swimming is something that I've only recently got back into.
He and a mate came up with a prototype for flippers.
I swim faster than most people now, without feet.
But his greatest achievement to date is spreading his philosophy in the workplace and, most importantly, to young people, telling them to focus on the positives, eliminate the negatives and make the most of what you have.
If I go and speak to an audience, I want to have an optimistic message. One thing I can't stand is pity. I don't want any pity because I live a really happy life.
In November, for the 3rd time, Mike will take part in the Eureka Climb, which raises money and awareness for Interplast and White Line Youth at Risk. Both, Mike says, are causes close to his heart. And Mike Rolls is an expert when it comes to a gruelling climb. And one part that has remained perfectly intact.
Press the button and off they come. You can have a look if you like.
Is his sense of humour.
Always get asked how tall I am, and obviously the answer is as tall as I want to be. I'm best of both worlds. I mean, even if they like short or tall men, you know, I can adjust accordingly.
Joe Hall, 9 News.
What a champion, great story.